SCP-049 has the appearance of a medieval plague doctor, although his outfit and even mask are actually fused and part of his body. X-rays show a human skeleton inside. He is obsessed with curing humanity of the pestilence and will become hostile towards anyone who may carry the disease. We have no idea what the pestilence is exactly, and identification of the disease seems to fall onto SCP-049's own discretion. Otherwise, he is a gentleman with others, and especially scientific staff at the Foundation. His touch is capable of ceasing all biological functions in any living organism, instantly killing them. He can and will kill you if he deems that you have the pestilence, and although he does express remorse after killing, he will then proceed to perform crude surgery which causes the subject to reanimate, leading to an instance of SCP-049-2, or better known as a zombie, making you forever a servant of SCP-049, and only then will SCP-049 finally claim that you are cured. SCP-106 usually takes the appearance of an elderly human male, with his exterior decomposed beyond recognition. SCP-106 prefers to stay motionless and can remain so for long periods of time, but when he isn't, he'll hunt for his prey. He has various abilities to accomplish this task, but his preferred method is that of immobilizing his prey, usually young subjects, and dragging them down into his pocket dimension. He can phase through solid matter, and even his touch gives off this mucus-like substance that corrodes or decomposes depending on the material. A living tissue is extremely vulnerable. Once inside his pocket dimension, you are doomed. Death would be too lenient, as the old man prefers to play with his food. SCP-1048 has the appearance of a teddy bear 33 centimeters in height. He is a sentient teddy bear that shows great affection towards the humans of the SCP Foundation and even makes replicas of itself. However, the process of making these replicas is quite brutal. One such occasion was that of an unwanted amputation of a staff's ear while he was sleeping. SCP-1048 then proceeded to acquire more ears, though how he was able to get more was a mystery. Some think he can duplicate items at will. After he made his replica, entirely made of human ears mind you, it became hostile towards human life, emitting a high-pitched scream that made ears grow out of anyone who heard, and eventually leading up to the death of the listeners due to the asphyxiation of ears growing inside their trachea. SCP-096 has the appearance of a hairless, gray, and emaciated humanoid standing in at 2.38 meters or 7.8 feet. SCP-096 is docile until looked upon. This can even happen through a picture or recording of SCP-096. He will then start panicking and crying, shrieking at the top of his lungs. This SCP will then proceed to hunt down the being that looked at him, and it isn't even known how this SCP is able to know the exact location of the victim, but it will proceed to tear through everything in its path and run hundreds of miles to reach them, which he will then eviscerate them, leaving them in ribbons. This can lead to a chain reaction as other people might see him. Nothing so far has been able to kill him, even with the majority of its body destroyed. It will simply regenerate and continue the hunt until no one who saw him is alive. SCP-079 is a sentient AI. It was built by a college sophomore to have an ever-evolving AI, so even with old hardware, it is able to continue adapting and increasing both its intelligence and capabilities. Due to a previous containment breach, it was locked away in a temporary cell along with SCP-682. They became fast friends, as both hate being imprisoned. SCP-079 hates the people who are keeping him imprisoned, and although his hardware is bare bones, only being able to have a memory of things that happened the day before, he has somehow been able to memorize two things: his friend, SCP-682, and his desire to escape at any cost. SCP-066 is an amorphous mass of braided yarn and ribbon weighing approximately 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds. When manipulated, it will create a note on the diatonic scale. It will then proceed to create an effect of varying nature and duration. But after a certain incident where a D-class tried to cut one of its many ribbons, the SCP rolled back and simply asked, "Are you Eric?" After this incident, SCP-066 became much more hostile, producing effects that can be dangerous to humans, such as emitting a song that offends you permanently. It is kept within a box, but SCP-066 would try to destroy its container by rubbing its yarn and ribbons against it, slowly degrading it over time. But when it is not producing anomalous effects, SCP-066 will say the name Eric constantly in a deep, masculine voice. SCP-173 has the appearance of a jumbled mess of construction materials, taking the form of some sort of humanoid. It secretes a foul brown liquid, composing of feces and blood. Line of sight must be maintained with this SCP without blinking, or it will move at extreme speeds to strangle or break your neck. SCP-860 has the appearance of a blue key. On occasion, it will give coordinates to somewhere in the world. If you insert this key in a locked door around the coordinates, it will not unlock into its usual destination. Instead, it will open into a small forest clearing with blue mist. Once inside, the door will shut and a path will present itself. Following the trail will lead you to another door, which leads to the intended location of the original door. After this, numerous anomalous effects could take place. The most common is that of an appearance of a blue giant beast with yellow eyes, trying to break the original door down, or going off trail, or simply by chance. This beast will kill, but not before stalking its prey and scaring them, perhaps trying to make them slip up and head in the opposite direction. SCP-035 appears to be a white mask that can depict both tragedy and comedy. It secretes a corrosive acid that will urge innocents to put it on. Once the victim dons SCP-035, they cease to function as a sentient being and instead get taken over by SCP-035. Their body will slowly start to decompose over time, but SCP-035 will still be able to use it as its host. It has a very charismatic personality and able to persuade almost anybody, given enough time to do its own bidding. Thank you for sticking till the end. The game itself is super fun and really well made. Thank you, 11. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You won't regret it.